Here is a factual historical overview of the Afrikaner Weerstandsbeweging. I'll refer to them as AWB because I'm not going to pronounce that the whole video. We're going to be detailing its origins, its ideological foundations, and historical impact. Let's start with the origins and formation. The AWB was formed in 1973. It was founded in a garage in Heidelberg, Transvaal, now called Gauteng, by a former police officer named Eugène Terre'Blanche and 6 associates. The group emerged largely in response to what its founders perceived as liberalizing tendencies within the ruling National Party. They believed the government was beginning to deviate from the strict implementation of apartheid and making too many concessions that would threaten whites, specifically white Afrikaner rule in South Africa. Now let's move on to the core ideology and symbolism. The AWB operated on a platform of extreme Afrikaner nationalism, white supremacy, and militant separatism. The Volkstaat. The primary political goal of AWB was the creation of an independent Boer republic, a Volkstaat. They sought to secede from South Africa and establish a sovereign state exclusively for white Afrikaners, strictly governed by Calvinist principles. The organization was fervently anti-communist and anti-democratic and opposed to the transition of a multiracial democracy. The AWB utilized highly militaristic and fascist-inspired symbolism. Its emblem, composed of 3 black sevens arranged in a circle on a white background within a red flag, closely resembled the Nazi swastika. The group reclaimed the 3 sevens, representing a biblical opposition to the mark of the beast. Now let's look at the key events and escalation. Throughout the 1980s and the early 1990s, the AWB grew from a fringe group into a highly visible, heavily armed paramilitary organization known for violently disrupting political meetings. It started with key events like the Battle of Ventersdorp in 1991. In one of the most significant clashes, armed AWB members confronted the South African police outside a venue where the President F.W. de Klerk was speaking. The violence resulted in 3 AW members and 1 bystander being killed, marking a rare and shocking instance of the apartheid state's police force firing on right-winged white South Africans. The invasion of Botswana in 1994, just weeks before the democratic elections, the AWB mobilized an armed force into the Botswana homeland in a botched attempt to prop up its leader, Lucas Mokgope, who was resisting reincorporation into South Africa. The chaos incursion ended with AW members shooting at civilians and the subsequent televised execution of 3 wounded AW members by a local police officer. This event severely shattered the AW's image of parliamentary invisibility. In 1994, a bombing campaign was launched. In a final desperate attempt to derail the 1994 democratic elections, the AWB orchestrated a series of bombings in the Johannesburg and Pretoria areas, resulting in over 20 deaths. The successful democratic transition in 1994 and the inauguration of Nelson Mandela effectively dismantled the AWB's political leverage. The Group and Reconciliation Commission later heard amnesty applications from several AW members regarding the pre-election bombings and the other acts of violence. The organization's prominence further collapsed when Eugène Terre'Blanche was convicted and imprisoned in 2001 for the attempted murder of a security guard and the assault of a gas station attendant. Following Terre'Blanche's murder on his farm in 2010 by 2 of his employees over a wage dispute, the AWB became largely fractured and faded into deep political obscurity, existing today only as a marginalized fringe group